Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our fifth session for percentage. I hope you might have revised the previous sessions of the same topic, and at this stage I'm sure you'll be finding yourself comfortable enough to attend this session. And would recommend you to attend all the sessions of calculations and say all the sessions of ratio and proportions before we go for this session. Okay, so let's begin this particular session. Now friends, this is the first question for the session, and this is an application of percentage as well as ratio and proportion. Amit's monthly income is 30% more than that of Ronak. That means Amit's income is 130% of Ronak, or we can say income of Amit is 13 by 10 of Ronak. That means A is to R is 13 is to 10. 130% is 13 by 10. Okay. Now Ronak's monthly income is 20% less than that of Deepak. That means Ronak's income is 20% less. That means 80% of Deepak. So it's 4 by 5. 80% is actually 4 by 5. So Ronak is 4 by 5 of Deepak. That means Ronak by Deepak is 4 by 5. Now we have to find the combined ratio of Amit, Ronak and Deepak. So Amit, Ronak and Deepak. It's 13, 10 and Ronak is to Deepak is 4 is to 5. Now find the combined ratio. It's 52 is to 40 is to 50. Okay. So we have got the combined ratio of Amit, Ronak and Deepak. Now we have been given that if the difference between monthly incomes of Amit and Deepak is rupees 800. Now Amit and Deepak, what is the difference? It's two part. Okay. And we have to find out the income of Ronak. Okay. So if two part is 800, one part will be 400. And what is Ronak's income? That is 40 part. So one part is 400. That means 40 part is, if one part is 400, then 40 part is 400 into 40, which is 16,000. Okay. The problem is very simple. Just an application of percentage as well as ratio and proportion. If you know the conversion of percentage into fraction, the problem will be really very easy for you. Okay. So let's take the next problem. Now friends, let's take this interesting question. Fresh fruit contains 68% water and dry fruit contains 20% water. Okay. How much dry fruits can be obtained from 100 kilogram of fresh fruits? Now friends, let's take fresh fruits and dry fruits. The ratio of water to pulp is 68% water is there. That means 32% pulp is there. Okay. Or we can say the ratio is 17 is to 4. Okay. In all it is 100. And in dry fruit, we want 20% water and 80% pulp. So water and pulp. Water is 20 and pulp is 80. Okay. So in 100 kilogram, the total quantity of fresh fruit is 100 kilogram. So in 100 kilogram, 32 kilogram is pulp. Okay. In 100 kilogram, total quantity of fresh fruits, 32 kilogram is pulp. Okay. And in dry fruits, the water to pulp ratio is 1 is to 4. Okay. We can say it is 1 is to 4. Now we have to get dry fruits out of these fresh fruits. That means we are having 32 kilogram pulp with us. Since we are having 100 kilogram of fresh fruits, that means we are having 32 kilogram pulp, and in dry fruits 4 part of pulp is required. That means 4 part is 32. Okay. So if 4 part is 32, 1 part will be 8. That means the total quantity of dry fruits will be 32 plus 8, that is 40. Okay. It's very simple, friends. Just crunch the logic behind it. I hope you are clear. Now let's take this problem. A watermelon weighs 20 kilogram with 96% of its weight is water. It is allowed to stand in the sun and some of the water evaporates so that 95% of its weight is now water. Okay. Now what's the reduced weight of the watermelon? We have to find out. Friends, if 20 kilogram is the initial weight, 96% of its weight is water. That means 4% is pulp. So what is the 4% of 20 kilogram? That is 800 gram. So pulp, initially it's 4%. That is around 800 gram. Now it is allowed to stand in the sun and some of the water is evaporated. Definitely if there is an evaporation, pulp, the total quantity of pulp will remain same. Hence as only water is evaporated, not pulp. Okay. So after evaporation, water is 5% and pulp is still 800 gram. Water is, 95% and pulp is 5%. Okay. Now we have to find out the reduced weight of the watermelon. Initially the pulp was 4%. Now the pulp is 5%. If 5% of X is 800, then what is the 100%? We have to find out. If 5% is 800 grams, then 10% is 1600 grams. That means 100% is 16 kilograms. Okay. So very simple problem. I hope you are clear. Only part is this. Initially the pulp was 4%. Now the pulp is 5%. And 5% of any data is 800 gram. Then what is the 100%? This is the only calculation which we have to make. So I think it's very simple problem. Now let's take the next one. Now friends, let's take this problem. The price of rice is reduced by 2%. How many kilograms of rice can now be bought for the money which was sufficient to buy 49 kilogram of rice earlier? Initially we suppose that the rice is rupees 1 per kilogram. Okay, rupees 1 per kilogram. So initially for 100 rupees we were buying 100 kilogram. Okay. So which was here we have been given how many kilograms of rice can now be bought for the money which was sufficient to buy 49 kilogram rice earlier. So initially 49 kilogram rice we must be buying for 49 rupees since the price is 1 rupees per kilo. So 49 kilogram rice we must be buying for 49 rupees. Okay, that means now we are having 49 rupees with us. That means we have to find out the quantity of rice which can be bought for 49 rupees. So rupees and quantity. Okay. Now price is reduced by 2%. That means the new price is 98 rupees for 100 kilograms. Okay. So 100 kilogram can be bought for 98 rupees. That means for 49 rupees we can buy 50 kilogram. Isn't it very simple? I just revised the entire problem for you since there is no paperwork required. The initial price is rupees 1 per kilo. That means for 100 rupees we were to buy 100 kilograms. Okay. Now that means 49 kilogram rice we were buying for 49 rupees. That means we have to find out now after the reduction of price how much quantity can be bought for 49 rupees. Okay. So now we have 49 rupees and the price reduction is 2%. That means initially the price for 100 kilograms was 100 rupees. Now it is 98 rupees only. Okay, so 100 kilogram can be bought for 98 rupees. That means 49 rupees. In 49 rupees we can buy 50 kilogram. As simple as that. Okay, just think over the problem, you'll find it very easy. Now friends, let's take some of the percentage problems related to Venn diagrams. Okay. In an examination, 34% of the students failed in mathematics. Just mathematics, and it is English. Okay. Friends, this circle represents mathematics, this circle represents English, and this portion that represents the students who are failed in mathematics and English both. Okay, that means only this portion will be for only math, only this portion will be for only English, and this portion will be for math and English. Okay, so you should be very clear about the basics of Venn diagram. Okay, while solving the problem related to Venn diagrams, we should start with the innermost portion, that is this portion, which is a combination of math and English, or in other words we can say it is math intersection English. Okay, now if 20% of the student failed in both subjects, now that means this data is 20%. Okay, just rub it up and just write it once again. That means this data is 20%. Okay, 34% of the students failed in mathematics. Now out of these 34, 20 we have already written over here, so remaining 14 will be here. So in all there are 14 plus 20, that is 34% students are failed in mathematics. Similarly, in case of English, 42% failed in English, so 20 we have written over here, so remaining 22 will be here. Okay, so these are the datas of math only, English only, and maths plus English. So various questions are asked on this concept. Suppose you are asked how many students are failed only in mathematics, that means 14% students are failed only in mathematics, 22% students are failed only in English, that this portion is only English. Okay, so 22% students are failed only in English. And how many students are failed in both the subjects? That is 20%. That means this total is the percentage of total number of students who are failed either in mathematics or in English or in both. Okay, so in all 14 plus 20, that is 34 plus 22. So 34 plus 22, that is 56 students, or we can say 56% of the students are failed. So remaining 44% students are passed in both the subjects. I hope you are clear. Let's take 2-3 more problems of the similar concept. Now let's take this problem. Once again, a Venn diagram problem. Here we have been given two types of newspaper, that is X and Y. Let it be X and it's Y. Now this circle represents the newspaper X and this circle represents the newspaper Y, and this portion represents X and Y both. Okay, so first of all we fill up the innermost data, that is X intersection Y. That means the number of persons who are reading both the newspapers. Okay, so 10% read both the papers, so I just write 10 over here. Now 40% people read newspaper X, 10 I have already written over here, and the total of this circle must be 40, so it will be 30 over here. Okay, so 40% of the people read newspaper X. Okay, similarly 50% read newspaper Y. Now 10 is over here, so I would write 40. The total of this circle, that is the total of circle Y, is 50. Okay, now we have to find out what percentage of people read neither newspaper. This is the total of the persons who are reading newspapers. So how many of them are reading newspapers? It is 30 plus 10, 40 plus 40, 80. So 80% people are reading newspaper. Okay, that means 20% are not reading any sort of paper. Okay. Further, if the question is asked, how many persons are there who are reading only newspaper X? Only X is 30, only Y is 40, and both of them is 10. So you should be clear about all these four questions. Only X, only Y, both of them, and none of them. Okay. I hope you are getting my point. Let's take the next problem. Now friends, let's say this problem. Out of 450 students of a school, 325 play one game, 175 cricket, and 50 people are playing nothing, neither football nor cricket. So we have to find out how many students are playing both football and cricket. That means if it is football and it is cricket, we have to find out this data. Okay. Now friends, this is something different from the previous problem. Here 450 students are there, and out of them 50 are not playing any of the game. That means the sum of these two circles must be 400. Okay, sum of these two circles must be 450 minus 50, that is 400. Now let's say X student are there who are playing both the games. So it's X. Now the complete total of this circle is 325. That means this part will be 325 minus X. Okay. And the complete total of this circle is 175. That means only this part will be 175 minus X. Okay. And the total of all these three will be 400. That is 325 minus X plus 175 minus X is equal to 400. Now we can solve it. 325 plus 175 is 500 minus 400 is equal to X. So X is 100. Okay. Very simple problem. I hope you are clear. Let's take the next problem. Now let's see this problem. In a hotel, 60% had vegetarian lunch while 30% had non-vegetarian lunch and 15% had both type of lunch. If 96 people were present, how many did not eat either type of lunch? So it's the circle of vegetarian and it's a circle of non-vegetarian. Okay, 15% are having both the types of lunch. So this portion, that is A intersection B, that means vegetarian intersection non-vegetarian. Vegetarian intersection non-vegetarian is 15%. Okay. Intersection means the persons who are having both type of lunch, that is vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian. Okay. Now the total of this circle, that is the total calculation of vegetarian is 60%. So 15 I have written over here. So here it will be 45. Similarly, 30% had non-vegetarian. So 15 I have written over here. So remaining 15 I'll be writing over here. So the total of non-vegetarian circle will be 30. Okay. Now these are the total number of, this is the total number of persons who are taking any sort of lunch. Okay. What is that? It's 45 plus 15, 60 plus 15, 75. So 75 persons are taking lunch. That means 25% are not taking any sort of lunch. It is, we are talking here in percentage. Okay. Now, we are asked the calculation about, calculation for 96 people. If in all 96 people were there, how many did not eat either type of lunch? That means 25% of 96. That means 1/4 of 96. Okay, it's 24. So 25% are not taking any sort of lunch. That means 24 people are not taking any sort of lunch. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now friends, let's see this question. There are 600 boys in a hostel. Each plays either hockey or football or both. If 75% play hockey and 45% play football, how many play both? Okay. Now 75% play hockey, 45% play football. That means we are exceeding 100%. Okay. How much we are exceeding? It's 75 plus 45 is equal to 120. That means we are exceeding 20%. Okay. That means what is happening? This 20% is calculated for 2 times. Even in case of hockey also, or in case of football also. Okay. That means precisely 20% of the students are playing both the games. Suppose this circle is of hockey and this circle is of football. So 20% are playing both the games. That means the remaining out of 75%, 20% are playing both the games. So remaining is 55% is percent, and here it is 45%. So 20 here, 25 here. Okay, so this is the total calculation. So as I have already told you, various questions may be asked on this particular concept. So if only hockey is asked, then 55% players are there. And if only football is asked, then 25% of the players are there. And 20% of the players are playing both the games. Okay. That means of 600, 20% are playing both the games. That means 120 players are playing both the games, which we got in the very first step. But for the sake of clarity and which type of questions are asked, I have given all the concepts over here. So I hope you are clear with the concepts. Let's take the next one. Now friends, in a certain office, 72% of the workers prefer tea and 44% prefer coffee. Let this circle be of tea and this circle be of coffee. Okay. 72% tea and 44% coffee. If each of them prefers tea or coffee and 40% and 40 like both, then the total number of workers in the office is. Further, the total is more than 100. So 72 plus 44 is 116. That means 16% people like both. And 16% is actually 40. That means 100% is 40 by 16 into 100 250. Okay, so the total of these two circles is 250. Okay, and we are asked the total number of workers, which is 250. Okay, you can do this problem even mentally, since we know that percentage cannot exceed 100%. That means certain percentage is calculated twice. That means that X percent has the part of 72% also and 44% also, which is there 16, which is 16%. That means 16% are liking both. That means 100% is 400. Okay friends, I'm sorry, 100% is 250. Now let's take one more question based on Venn diagram. In an examination, 65% students passed in civics and 60% in history. Let this circle be of civics and this is of history. Okay, and 40% passed in both of these subjects. Okay, that means this value, that is the common value, is 40%. The total of this circle, that is of civics circle, is 65%. So 40% is over here. That means remaining 25% is over here. All the datas are here in percentage. Okay, and in case of history, 60% in history. If 40% is over here, so remaining 20% will be here. That means This is the total number of students who are passed. Okay, and what is that? 25 plus 40, that is 65. 65 plus 20, 85. That means 85% students are passed. That means 15% are fail. And how many students are failed? 90%. So 15%, 90 students are failed. So 15% of x is equal to 90. That means x is 600. Okay, I hope you are clear. So the total number of students is 600. Okay, let's take the next problem.